Dramatics, welcome back, and we have just gotten through episode 11, so what are your impressions on this one?
This episode was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because, with them going to awake the demon, the dragon, and, it's so random how it's like, okay, all right, we got everybody to surrender, we're taking over, Gia Pass, and she just randomly just shows up, and it's like, all right, we're reunited now,
And it feels so good. I mean, he was elated to see her. That was what it was. And he's having all these flashbacks of just I've been spending all these months trying to find her. Mm-hmm. And she finally shows up. And true form of just things being circumstantial of Sholin just showing up right after her. And so I'm sure he's thinking why are y'all together? Do you still have feelings for him? That made him feel all kinds of ways. Mm-hmm. And so I'm just oh man, that's going to bite them later on.
It's going to bite them. And the fact that he brought up, last time I saw you, you left me. And this was after she literally sacrificed for herself, and not really communicating with him, what's been going on all these months, and finding a new family for Fuya, and okay, you got to change your name.
Right.
And once you grow up, make sure to go to this sect or whatever. You can learn some magic. We're going to meet each other again.
Yes.
So we'll see her make a comeback. But I think it was just oh yeah, there's this powerful demon in this river over here. Mm-hmm. Let's go wake it up. And I'm you know what? I think this might be a bad idea.
It's it might be and it might be not. Right. Because I think there's going to be a couple of necessities that's going to be learned from here.
Yeah.
As they go back the tens of thousands of years back into the future, back into the past and back to the future. That's something totally different. But I guess to relearn things, because I think there's going to be needs from both or all ends. And, I think after this is where, Bing Chong is going to do her complete heel turn. This is going to be it. That's my theory. Yeah. Especially how everyone except for Tentai Jin, ironically enough, went on the god side eye of the dragon, and everyone else went on the demon side. So that probably could mean, bad omens. I already know, but I don't know all the parts getting up to the end point of this sequence. But do you have any speculations on why and what this dream sequence will bring?
I'm still really confused by it.
Okay.
I didn't know exactly. I think I lost the translation of what the trials were about necessarily, because I don't know if I missed something while watching it, and I'm okay, what are they supposed to do? And for some reason, it reminds me of the Fade from Dragon Age, where they have to go in and do all these weird little trials, and it's a test of their moral character, their ability to get out of this horrifying dream sequence. So I'm a little bit confused, but the fact that the person that Susu kind of turned into was their clams, and that's what the dragon was sitting on, and that's I think that was the I don't know what the word is, the gift that
that heart thing comes from, I believe so, because what's his name, the klutzy immortal friend, he pretty much had mentioned this came from 10,000 years ago. So this is where I think where we'll see the origins of this come from. And a lot of other things that will come full circle, because, and that's the thing, a lot of these we'll see, things come full circle, things that people, history will repeat itself, is pretty much the iteration of that. And I had already speculated about this, because I don't think I was given this beforehand, but of course, we see the dragon, and then you see Ming Yi, the god of war, as he's fighting in the heavens, he turns into a dragon, the same dragon that we see babysitting that clam that they wake up in the quote-unquote current day. So it's going to be a matter of this, okay, what's the matter with this shell? Why is he sleeping here? What are these trials about? Is it just a flashback to see how we got to this point? They had mentioned about there being gods in the past, but there's not any anymore. They're all gone. And so maybe this is going to be the culmination in that. Because we also see in the title sequence, like in the intro and the outro, we see the paintings of like other different like deities in there. So I'm thinking we're gonna meet some of these gods, especially Ming Yi is one.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to see what all that unfolds and what lessons unfur and what those consequences will mean for their present.
Yeah, and I think it was kind of interesting because it's like, oh, their fates even now are intertwined. It's like the dragon, I don't know if he's like protecting the clam or guarding the clam necessarily, but it's like, oh, it just gave me some feels a little bit. I was like, oh, and she's hiding out, like, watching the war. She's just like, oh, he's kind of handsome.
I mean, I get it because I'm like, he was putting the hurt on all of that. So I can see why she's like, oh, and I was singing Part of Your World because it gave such Little Mermaid feels. And I'm sitting here like, when the part of his armor had flung off, I'm like, does she have a grotto where she's collecting all of his crap?
She has a shrine.
She has a little shrine.
On, like, Harold, we were talking about Harold earlier in Helga, and I'm like, yeah, she has a shrine.
She absolutely does. It's like, right now she's keeping part of that armor in her pocket, but I'm like, she will get more of that if she can, but it's going to be like an interesting thing about how everything will be connected to where the story is leading to. Yeah. I know it's like quite a bit of a tonal shift with this, but I think a lot of the lessons learned will come from this. And there's going to be also something that will be revisited where you're just like, was that? And it's like, So it'll be a matter of time once this story sequence comes unfold.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing them reunite though, and like the low-key banter that they were having, and I'm like, I'm sure it was kind of awkward for everybody else. They didn't really say much, but I'm like, can y'all take this to somewhere else? Because
beside the other side of the dragon, just like, you need to talk this out, because he's like, wifey, you left me, you abandoned me, I've been looking for him. But I'm like, you can tell he was just elated to see her because he smiled. Yeah, just at seeing her, and she's like, yeah, you didn't think I'll be showing up, and she's already angry because she already knows that he's here to like usurp the power of this dragon,
right?
And she's like, no, you can't.
And once again, she thinks he's gonna use it for evil means, not realizing that sometimes you can use bad things for good. And even though it looks to everybody else that he's just trying to be evil and get power and stuff, it's more complicated than that.
It absolutely is.
Every single turn, it's like, well, I have these abilities, I have these powers. I know they're not like the conventional, what most good people would see as appropriate, but what am I supposed to do with these? And if I'm able to actually do something to help people, not myself, but just help people in general. Especially with the way that he's like, look, surrender to your past. It is not worth your lives. Like, and it's not in a normal Saturday morning cartoon villain. Don't give up your lives to be noble. It's like, no, you know that your king is fucking up.
Right.
Why die for someone and allow him to continue unchecked only to watch your entire kingdom fall?
Right.
Because it is falling. Even without my help, it's falling from the inside.
Well, because like, what was it you brought up about them not having another general in place?
Yeah, because he was like, Shua's dad is the only general, and second brother, they're the only generals. And I'm like, what do you mean? You have a whole kingdom and you don't have
enough generals.
You don't have enough multiple, like, generals, lieutenants. Like, where's your hierarchy? But we've seen, time and time again, the king considers anybody that is powerful and has charisma and can rally people to be a legitimate threat.
Right.
So he probably did that on purpose to minimize the number of people that can go against him,
I guess, but he also like compiled it into one military family, and I guess it's like with that he can just slaughter them all. I'm like, okay, then where you're gonna get your next general? Like, did you already have one? Like, he didn't have an ace in the hole, or else he wouldn't have sent his son to the front lines.
And even then, like, his son had to beg to go to the front lines because he's like, we have nobody to lead.
He kind of did it as a bartering, too, because it's like, his father was still like, well, those Yees, I need to take care of them. He's like, no.
They proven me right. I was suspicious about them all along. They're proving my point. And it's like, no, you push them into that corner.
Right.
This is all you're doing.
But it's like, he can't explain it to him. The king was looking at Sholin's like, oh, you're taking their side, so you were probably in on this plot. And he's like, no. So here's what I'll do. I will go to the front. The only thing I ask for is that since my wife is a yeet, I'm just asking you for the sake of me, just spare her life. That's all I'm here for. And so his father was just like, fine, okay, whatever. I'm sure like there'll be a caveat, as long as she doesn't become your main wife. I'm sure he would have like caveat if that ever came to cross. But I do have to say, P-Ching girl, like, please,
we have to talk.
I mean, a lot of places, like, I get why she came along because this is helping with a certain story arc, but I'm sitting here like, you're not needed everywhere. You are all up under this dude.
Jeez.
And I get, like, wanting to cater to the person you love. I'm like, don't let the man go cook. Like, let him go cook in another room. He will check in with you on occasion because he's that in love with you. He is beyond devoted to you.
He's not going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
And don't worry, like, no one's going to steal him. Like, he's still devoted to you, but he has larger pressing issues at the moment where your whole family's about to be slaughtered.
Right.
We see that scene where she's in the carriage and getting, like, vegetables and shit.
Oh, fickle people. Oh, my God.
And I'm like, wow, y'all are terrible. But, I mean, I understand kind of in a way.
I mean, it was like, kind of like how we were discussing before about it was going to be a lose-lose situation when it came to Jing Yu's surrendering to Tantai Jin.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people would have either...
Thousands of people would have
died, but I'm like, it still would have been with country pride and they had to do what they had to do, but so many more people would have been sacrificed, so you would have had like that antagonism on that side of people losing the loved ones they won unnecessarily for a war they didn't win.
And then they wouldn't be able to protect themselves from invaders.
Right.
You're leaving your country completely defenseless because all the men are out at war and they've all died. Who's going to protect all the elderly, the women, the children?
Right.
You know, and that can cause a lot more problems.
Right. And then, like, you will still lose the kingdom anyway.
Yeah.
In lieu of the surrendering. So, yes, you will still lose the respect of everyone that we saw after, throwing stuff at the carriage and blaming the Yi family for disrespect. But I'm like, at least y'all are alive to do it.
And you get to go home.
You get to go home.
It's like your families.
And that's the thing. They don't see that long picture. It's just the fact that, like, they were cowards. They betrayed our nation's pride. How dare you do this? You should have just went ahead and fought to the death. I'm like, at your own detriment, it would have been that way.
And in the long run, they would have seen it when disease and terror. Because, like, Jing Yi, he's seen it firsthand. He sees what happens when you have war ravaging the country and the after effects. He's like, I don't want that anymore. I don't want us to be at war. I just want to be at peace, and
that's all he's ever wanted.
That's all he wants. And in the same way, like, Tantai Jin is in the same kind of regard. He's like, I don't really want to fight people. I just want to protect my people. I just want to, and
this is just me being in defense mode. This is all it is. And I love how Tantai Jin, even with all of his forces, he didn't do anything. He didn't even speak. He just waited.
Yeah.
Of course, I think he had, like, his birds and stuff like that, monitoring Jing Yu's expression until he was just finally just like, just go ahead and open the gates and let's go ahead and surrender. And then Tantai Jin was just like, got it.
I don't want to have to do that.
Exactly. Yeah. And so he's like, he was willing to if he had to, but it's more like, if you start attacking, I'm going to defend myself and my country. Right. And that comes first and foremost. And again, where your sister at? Where is she?
Yeah.
Where
baby girl?
Because it seems like every single thing that I've loved, like, in the last couple of episodes, it's like, the world stops anytime either her name is mentioned or the fact that they can't find her. I love his pining. I just love it because that also keeps him tied to her romantically, where he's opining for her, but he's still not realizing the reason why he is. It's just more like, I want to find you so I can go ahead and we can get in our stuff. I'm like, no, it's not like that. No. It's more deeper than that with you. Yeah. You just don't know why. And I think with them being in this, is it like either Bore or Bore life experience, that it will kind of bring them even closer because they will remember all of this, all the lessons learned from all of this. Yeah. So we'll just see what all the lessons are. So Do you have any speculation for the Borderline sequence, or you're just like, let's just watch it unfold?
Yeah, I'm just watching to see what happens, because that transition into that sequence was a little bit strange for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, so what exactly is the point of this? Like, what's going on? Especially as they're into different alter egos, I guess, or, or inhabiting other people in the past. And seeing Bing Chong kind of like cozying up to Ming.
Yes.
And like, hey, and he's like, no, something about this don't feel right.
Or is he one of those people who would be just like, what am I trying to think of? Celibate for war, like, or like monkish when it comes to love. He's very like, there's no place of that in my life. It's war or nothing. Like, I have to sacrifice something for the cause of protecting the greater good and to protecting everyone. Like, maybe that is what his end game is. Sorry, y'all, my dog is up there sleeping in the background. Maybe that is the end goal. Like, you can already tell that, Bing Chang is already, you can already feel the mean girl energy off of her.
Yeah, and what was crazy to me was, okay, I get her wanting to come along, Shaolin, and, that's my bae, I'm going to die with you. But I'm like, ma'am, why are you in...
Please do.
Why are you in the past? Why are you in here? She just wandered along and was like, la, 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 la. Like, it feels weird to me. I'm like, how did you end up in here? Why are you in here?
Right.
You don't know what you're doing. Like, stay in the carriage. Stay at home.
Stay chilled out. Because he's like, I don't need you out here. I'm like...
risking your life.
It's just too much of codependency. Yeah. It's really too clingy for me. But I know that she has to be in there because of what all goes on.
It makes sense in that regard.
Yes, and like this is pushing her story part because we haven't seen her in a while. This is the first time we've seen her in a long time.
Several episodes, and she hasn't seen her sister in all this time. And it's like, why are they teaming up? Like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. My husband hates her. What's happening here?
Going on here?
And she's already kind of insecure in a way because of the past trauma from her sister and all the other stuff that's been going on. I really wanted to kind of get her perspective on what's been happening over the last several months because we have not checked in with her since the wedding. And, how is she taking all this news? Is she privy to the king and him breaking down and challenging literally everybody around him because he trusts no one and is so caught up in his own ego and shit? Like,
I think that Bing Chong is going to blame Tan Tai Jin for their change of events, and by proxy of that, blame her sister. I think that's just what the overall thing is going to be.
You ruined everything that I love.
She saw firsthand and recognized Tan Tai Jin's, propensity for dark arts and dark powers. Yeah. And so what she will probably also think is like, it's through your manipulations and dark ways is the reason why my family fell out of favor. And it's like, and I didn't really mess with my family to begin with because they didn't really mess with me. Right. And I was already happily engaged and married with my husband. But now all of our lives have been uprooted for what my brother didn't do, which was like, defend our capital. Now my husband has to act as the acting general.
And if he dies, I'm not forgiving any of you. If something happens to him,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Like, I think she has that type of relationship with Zhao Lin that he's like, I will sacrifice anything for him. And, well, I think that's, how should I say this? I think that's a worthy thing, in light of everything. But when that's like the only thing that you have going for you, it can kind of, again, codependency. It's like it's leaning way too much into she doesn't have much of an identity outside of him. Right. And I really kind of am a little bit frustrated at the fact that we have not seen much of her in all this time. And like, yeah, she has this, we see her feeding the sick and the poor and the hungry, and she's so nice and sweet and everybody loves her. But, seeing the true her and what she really wants now that she has her man, what other things do you want?
I think the reason why, to me, like, the first few episodes of her is like the Jane Bennett equivalent. If Jane was unfortunately treated worse by Lizzie, if Lizzie was the mean girl.
Lizzie beating the blocks off her.
I mean, I mean, I'm sure someone would have written that fiction by now, but it's like that's what it kind of reminds me of. So once she got married, she had her hearth and home, and so she was good, just taking care of her husband, making sure all of his needs were met, with all the reasons of that. But I think with this, she was still like, with everything uprooted, is everything foreign to her because she wasn't really trained to be anything else but just a gentlewoman of sorts that just fed the hungry and knitted or like did stuff. Like that's all she was raised for. She wasn't raised for anything else. She was raised in the life of privilege. Even though she wasn't the favorite daughter, she was still taken care of.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, she doesn't know what to do, and she's so used to living under other people. So when her home, I guess, like gets uprooted and stuff, she's like, I don't know what else to cling to. But at the same time, I'm like, honey, cling to your servant, stay in the carriage.
You are helping him a lot more by keeping yourself safe than trying to follow him everywhere, because what he does is dangerous. Like, he's putting himself in harm's way.
And what good are you going to do? What are you going to contribute? Are you going to hit someone with a sewing needle? Like, what are you going to do?
Right.
And he doesn't need to have that pressure of trying to pinpoint you at every turn to see where you are. That is a distraction and also can be used against enemies. You need to stay put.
Yes.
That's it.
And helping her understand, like, I get that you want me to be safe, but I also have a responsibility to my people. And when she was like, oh, but you're going to leave me here and go save other people, what about me? And it's like, do you not understand? He is going to be the future king.
Right.
If he doesn't protect his subjects.
Right. How's that going to look?
Yeah, he won't have a kingdom to rule over.
Right.
Like, he's made sure that you're secure. He's done that. Now he needs to go and help. And
because I'm like, also, do you want us, like, even though you don't mess with them very much, I'm like, your family is also out there. Should I go check on at least your dad? Like, come on. Your brother, nah. But let me go, and your sister, I get that. But let me go check on your family. Like, make sure that they're all out and good and stuff. So that was like the first only like slip of selfishness we ever saw from her. Her being a part of the Boar life is to further her story arc. That is what I'm going to put forward.
I think we're going to see some bad stuff.
You have no idea. So,
her evil.
I mean, like we saw, like she had that vein and she had so many night blossoms on her, which I'm just like, okay, so with these night blossoms that had blossomed when they were dealing with the dream demon, is it tied to her past self or not?
Oh.
So, do you have any final thoughts before we go into episode 12?
I'm just ready. Like, let's keep doing this. This is fun.
Oh, great. So, we will go ahead and watch through episode 12 and express more of our thoughts.